Hello, Internet, and welcome to Conserving 915, America's #1 Latinx conservative talk show on the Internet. I'm Dave.
El Pinche Steve is here.
What's up, guys? I'm Ruben.
Hey, everybody. I'm Angel.
All right, well, so this is the gang. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, David.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Very glad to
Nice
make
to
your
meet you.
acquaintance.
Yeah.
We appreciate you being part of this. Now, what are we doing here? Well, we're a bunch of, we're a ragtag team of Chicanos,
No,
Latinos.
no.
No? Oh, no. He's not a Chicano. You're
Latinos?
more Latino.
I'm just,
Hispanic.
I'm just not identifying as anything for now.
Okay, Texas. El Paso.
Tex- oh, I like
Oh, you know what? Yeah. Specifically, we're El Pasoans from Texas. Please, get it right. And we're here to tell you guys that you need to wake up.
So, anyways, I think what David's talking about is that there's a lot of weird things going on in our country from the people that are running this country, or
Well, who's really running the
or
country?
running it to the ground, kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Same thing with El Paso. El Paso is a great place to be in. It'd be a lot greater if we didn't have the people running it. If they weren't running it to the ground either, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Okay,
I'm catching the facts that you're spitting.
all right.
In
In
other
any
words,
case, we've seen that our great president is setting a very great trend, awesome trend, the nosedive.
he's had a lot of practice.
He has a lot of practice, yeah.
Alleged president.
Well, that is up, for discussion, I suppose, in some circles. In other circles, they'll say no. It was the most safe and fair of all elections in the land.
And he's received the most votes of all candidates
Oh, yeah.
in history.
In history.
In history.
Which is a marvel. At any rate, what is our purpose here? What are we trying to do here? Well, first of all, let me introduce myself a little bit. Like I said, I'm Dave. I am a father, a husband, a fighter, lover, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All I'm saying is I'm sick of, the narrative that's being peddled. And what's worst of all, not just the narrative, the people that are accepting it. I think there's a bit of a bipolar issue here, or maybe a schizophrenic issue here in El Paso, or at the very least with a lot of people that I've spoken to, where people, they kind of talk with traditional values. That's a lot of what their expression is, but they vote a certain way against it. It's like almost as if we're all being conditioned because we are Latinx or Chicanos or whatever it is you want to call yourself, of the Latino persuasion. You have to vote in a certain way because the Republicans are the bad guys and the Democrats are the good guys. Well,
How did, well, you gotta, the thing is, man, are they, you have to bring in the whole issue. Can you really call them good guys or good good them?
Zers, Z's.
Yeah. So even that, it gets confusing.
It is. And all this is being shoved down our throats.
Yeah.
And whether you're into the loop or not, whether you think, oh, it's just some weird fad that's, well, actually no.
It's
That's
just a weird what?
a weird fad. It'll go away
Okay,
soon.
no, it's actually progressed to very, very, I don't know, it's like snowballing, turning into what, the avalanche? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Weird stuff is happening.
And there's no snow down here, so if we're seeing a snowball, that's a big issue. Take that, global warming.
So in any case, as you can listen to us clearly, we are more of a conservative consent in which we would like to bring forward a voice here in the middle of a lib town, which is El Paso, the voices of the people. These traditional values that David has been saying, something that we are sharing everyone constantly But due to social pressures or just this blatant lie, we are forced to go Democrat. Go with the people who actually try to enslave people,
Or
Or
that
against-
have enslaved people.
that have enslaved people, who are against freedom.
Yeah.
You know, they want to shut down any kind of dissent. So, and who's really the freedom lover?
Right, right.
But it's not so much that people are being led astray. Maybe I think it's more like being conditioned, because I know it might just be me, or it might not just be me, but even way back when we were kids, shows like The Simpsons, like perfect example. I think that was an excellent way to condition people, because they were on a network, or I don't know if they're still on a network. Are they still going? It's been a while since I've watched on Fox. And way back when, Fox was more of the slightly right leaning, and they would always crap. There was always crap on Fox, The Simpsons. Mm-hmm. And whenever there was kind of like a Republican meeting or a GOP meeting in The Simpsons, in the show, it was always in this dark rooms with like filled with smoke, and a bunch of bad people, like the rich bad guys. Mr. Burns was always there. Count Chocula was there. Like whenever,
Count Chocula?
Yeah, no, I'm being
he's a
serious.
bad guy.
He's a good guy, guys.
That was a good cereal too.
Well, I've never tried it. We've always only had King
Blueberry?
Vitamin.
King Vitamin,
Oh, I
yes.
love that stuff.
No, those Count Chocula, the blueberry and the Frankenberry?
Yeah. Never had any of those.
I used to like the Frankenberry a lot, and then Count
I
Chocula,
can tell.
and then the blueberry.
It really shows.
How does it show?
I'm kidding, man. Anyway,
King Vitamin D.
what?
Is that what you ate?
No, King Vitamin.
Oh, King Vitamin D. I'm sure that's what you ate.
That's what we would eat.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That's all my parents could afford. I don't know if that was part of the great
King
value.
Vitamin D. Or-
Vitamin D. No, we would
Yeah, plenty of
We would
that.
get vitamin D going outside. That's another thing. We go outside a lot.
Going down the sun. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Mr. Golden Sun, give me
Good.
your vitamin D. Or how's it go?
Well, in that case, that analogy doesn't really pick up here. We can't go outside and touch grass much.
Well, not around here.
Not around the poor places either.
You can go outside and touch rocks,
Any rocks.
touch sand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful landscape, I think. It's not for many folks. You hear that a lot. El Paso's really dirty and dusty. I'm like, well, it's a desert. So
It's a desert. I don't. But there's a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of trees and grass.
Well, there's green, but
Well, you would have to have like constant water flowing through there, and you don't see that in the poor parts of El Paso.
no. But anyway, what was I trying to say? Oh yes, conditioning. It's subtle things like that. Also in media, in movies, it always leans left, and it always has for years. And I'm coming to terms with that after kind of like sort of waking up from it. When was this? It was when Trump ran. When Trump ran, I was actually in 2015. I was one of the first ones to make fun of him. I was one of the first ones to say, this guy's a joke. But then, the way that the media would lie about him would make me, it made me just kind of like snap out of it. Like, wait, hold on. This is a guy that loves America. I'm like, sure, he's brash, sure, he's vulgar at times, but he, in his very essence, all he wants is the best for the country and the people. And he's imperfect like everyone is, but before the election, I was like fully on board for Trump, and even in 2020, and I did express that to some close relatives and family and friends, and much to their chagrin, they're like, "What? How could you?" You know, and just hearing how people would react to me, just kind of suggesting that, oh, you know what, I might vote Republican, and just the vitriol behind that, behind that was very unnerving at first, but then sobering. I was like, oh shoot, it's like a mind virus. Seriously, it's a lot of people that just they get fed a bunch of bad information and then spit it back out, and it's this constant cycle of refuse, intake and refuse, and spitting back the same refuse, and it just helped me reflect way back, even in my childhood. That's why I mentioned The Simpsons. Like, whoa, even back then, they got us when we were kids. Like, oh, don't forget, Fox is bad. Well, I mean, Fox is kind of bad, but anything right-leaning is bad. Anything Republican is bad.
Anything conservative,
Especially. And I was like, oh, this is a huge lie that's being peddled through media. And now with social media, it's just like, oh, exponentially more and more bad. And it's ridiculous to the point where I said, you know what, that's it. I got to do something about it. Will this work? I don't know. I sure hope so. But all I really want to do with this is shake some people up. Like, hey, you're being conditioned. You can think for yourself. It's okay if you want to be a little more traditional. You know, it's okay. You don't have to go kowtow to all these progressive ideals. And not only you don't have to, I mean, you really shouldn't, because all it really is, instead of progressing, it's transgressing against everything that this country was made great through, traditional values, family, country, and God. Not necessarily in that order, but those three very foundational building blocks of a unit, which being the family, centered by a strong faith in God and a love for the country, is really the only thing that can bounce us back. Like getting rid of all this transgression from the left.
And who knows? Sometimes I think that our country might be too far gone. Like with the debt and all the stuff that's going on. Like I'm really hoping Trump wins, but sometimes because I think we're gonna hit it's like we're a speeding train gonna hit the brick wall. The train's gonna hit the wall, right? So if it hits the wall when Trump wins again,
It's gonna be his fault.
yeah, they're gonna say, "Oh, see what happens because you voted for your guy," which is, like, I think it's gonna hit the wall. Like I said, it's just, is it gonna slam really hard, or is it gonna be a softer hit? Do you know what I mean? With all the inflation, I was hearing the other day that 80% of all the money printed was made
past couple of years.
Past couple of years. That's, and then these guys still have the. Dude, they're so what is cynical the right word, that they tell you, oh, you're making more money than you ever have, but yeah, your money is worth a lot less. It's like you can get a 2,000% raise, but if inflation's at 5,000%, you didn't get a raise. People don't understand that. Or another thing that's going on right now is how they're passing this law where your property taxes can't be over a certain percentage.
Mm-hmm.
But all they have to do is overvalue your property, and they still get what It's all these little games that they play. I mean, they can pay you $500 an hour, but if gasoline is $300 a gallon, I mean,
It won't get you very far.
A lot of people don't put that together. So,
Yeah, exactly.
for which they need to condition us and change the water so we don't notice. And now, thank goodness, we have an incompetent man in the White House to see that they are truly incompetent.
Well, not only the man, I mean, the team behind the man as well.
well, I don't even think they're incompetent. I want to say that they're very competent, and that I don't understand the reason, but it seems like they're doing all this for some reason. You know what I mean? Like I don't think, like, you can't possibly be this dumb. I think it's I don't know what the reason is, but it looks like they're intentionally trying to trying to destroy the country. You know, like there's no law, there's no order. There's like I don't know. It's like the Americans get shafted a little bit more each day, and you know, it's just like the frog in boiling water, where at first it doesn't.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't react. It just gets
by the
used
time
to
by the time it's hot enough for it to react, it's already too late.
it's too late. It's already cooked.
A lot of it goes to conditioning, though, I think, because people are just gonna not, like you said, not really notice. Like you said, and they're not really gonna notice until it's way too late. Sure, we have to pay for everything that we do eventually at some point. It's gonna suck, yeah, but what if it's, what if it's the best course of action to, tighten our belts for a bit, when it comes to balancing the budget. I mean, that's Congress, that's for them. We'll feel all the effects of it. But as long as we get the same kind of unit party, and by that I mean even if it's a Republican or a Democrat, the unit party is like they're working together to screw us over anyway. So even if we get our guys supposedly into but they're still part of the same kind of mentality. They're gonna keep the money machine printing. It go brrr until.
Are you insinuating that there's a reality called rhinos?
Rhinos, yeah.
Right now.
That we have sleeper cells in our midst.
Oh yeah, a bunch of rhinos.
I mean,
Romney, Bush,
The only fang.
Ronna McDaniel, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, well, she's a Romney. I just
Yeah.
found out like
you didn't
a
know?
month ago
Yeah.
from that guy you like, Vivek or Tivik or what's his name?
Vivek.
Vivek. I can.
Unfortunately, we have a lot of people in the party who talk a big game, who, as soon as they get into the office, they don't work in the best interest of the people anymore,
There's that. and
But
then-
you forgot the one of the main ones, dude. Cheney, man. Lynn Cheney,
Yeah.
the kangaroo court.
Oh, Liz?
Liz Cheney.
Liz Cheney. Lynn Cheney is a wife, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, Lynn is a wife, I think.
I'm not sure.
Those guys, Lynn Cheney, yeah.
I can think of you, and also
Bush.
Mr. Turtle guy,
Who?
Mitch McConnell.
Oh, Mitch McConnell, yeah, dude. And then
Another one of those rhinos.
Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, a bunch of rhinos. Rhino equals Republican in name only. That's what it stands for. But it's all part of the same unit party, and they don't really serve the interests of the people. Like, so what I'm saying is that I don't necessarily like Republicans, but I do like people who are more populists, if you will, who really stand up for the people. Because it's not in our best interest to go to war. It's not in our best interest at all to keep printing money for no reason. Or not even for no reason, for really bad reasons. It's not in our best interest to keep the border open. Things like that get promoted by the Uniparty, by mostly progressives and Democrats, but also all those Republicans that just be like, hey, hold on there, Democrats, but end up voting that way anyway. So I don't know. What do you think, Angel?
Well, I guess a few different things for me. My experience has been slightly different from yours. I have a feeling like probably the experience from each one of us has been very, very different. But so I know growing up, it seemed like the Republicans were always the bad guys and the Democrats were the good guys, And I think around when I was 18 years old, I learned about Ron Paul and and Ruben and myself were actually both state delegates twice. I think was it back in 2012 and 2016, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, 2008 and 2012.
In our salad years.
So yeah, salad years when we weren't so chubby. But so I learned a lot from Ron Paul, and he had so many inspiring speeches, and I really got into a lot of what he was discussing about the Federal Reserve, monetary policy, the Keynesians versus the Austrian economics, and to me it was really, really interesting stuff. And
Blowback.
Blowback and
And
his
this wars, yeah.
and
What
his
is that?
Blowback is unfortunately, when you get involved in, and this is just like a general idea, but when you get involved into like some sort of a,
Other people's business.
yeah, like other people's business, and it ends up like backfiring on you,
Oh, okay.
coming back at you, you know. But
Like, oh, can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah,
Like, there
definitely,
were. I mean, I don't, and I'm gonna research this, but I wouldn't doubt it. They were saying how they're saying that Hamas was what are they saying, that it was created by Iran.
Oh, I've
But
heard
I
that.
mean, and I gotta research it because I've been reading that it was created by those special ops people. I don't know from what country or whatever, because like I said, I want to research it. That was actually made to counteract Yasser Arafat's party back then.
oh, really?
You know, so, but I want to look into it. So anyways, so whoever created that, we created to counter, well, not we, but whoever created it came up with it to counter Yasser Arafat, and now they're,
Now it
instead of
became its own
countering
thing.
Yasser Arafat, they're countering our friends, you know, so that's kind of what blowback is, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and I just, in general, I feel like, just going back to Ron Paul, that I think having a policy where you're friends with people and where you sort of make deals that benefit both parties, and I think his policy has always been like to have honest trade with all your neighboring countries, you know, and that's like the best way to build policies and to build friendships with other people. And to me, like that seemed to be the most sound advice, and in my opinion, he seemed to have like the wisest principles out of a lot of the people that were running at the time. And we need to audit the Fed. We need to see exactly
Oh, for sure.
every single dollar that's printed, where it's going. And my whole intention of joining like this group too was kind of like to put that perspective of a local El Pasoan out there,
Oh, of course.
and then also share a lot of our experiences of like what's going on here, you know. But
Yeah, we live right at the border, and it gets cray, man. Like sometimes I don't know, you go out to the street and just sometimes you just see big old groups, especially when visiting some family members. Like out of nowhere, I'm just just driving down, and then a big old group of people, migrants obviously, but they're just moving. You're like, holy crap! Like, I remember, I harken back to the halcyon days when I could walk down the street as a kid, and without a worry in the world. You can get run over, sure, but it was never like a group of strangers just walking around. And I mean, I don't want to sound like a racist or anything, but not a whole lot of families, mostly young men, is what I've seen. Mostly young men.
It smells a lot more like marijuana and other types of stuff. So yeah, which comes to the mind, like one of the great things that they have accomplished in order to change the waters, in order to accommodate us to this new reality, is changing language itself.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just look at their very name. They're called Democrats, which means power to the people, right? When everything they're doing is trying to give more power to the government so they can control everyone else.
Govern me harder, Daddy.
Govern me harder,
I
Daddy.
think that's the official
As long as you give me that
Slogan.
slogan, yeah.
Stimulate me, Daddy.
Jeez.
$2,000.
Stimmy. You gotta give me that stimmy, yo.
And I think also like a broader topic on that is not necessarily also a huge influx of folks that don't really necessarily know the law or that can actually successfully integrate immediately with their new country. But I think on the broader topic that's not really discussed very often, especially in the mainstream media, is a lot of the trafficking that's going on, and especially when it involves children and they're being sex trafficked. And to me, that's absolutely disgusting, and for me, that's the main reason why we need to get a lot of this stuff under control.
Well, not just for you. I mean, it is a fact that is disgusting, and that is abhorrent. It's a horrible reality.
Some Pentagon official, the sex traffic A sex trafficking ring or something?
Dude, every other day you see like an FBI agent that gets caught looking at
Yeah.
kiddie porn. So
Shout out to Alex Rosen and the Predator Poachers. I'm a huge fan of you all. You guys are doing some great work out there. But I think also, just as important as that first one, or almost as important, is the fact that we have a lot of drugs crossing over the border. And unfortunately, we have the fentanyl epidemic that's killing a lot of young Americans. And there's just so much going on, a lot of the repercussions from having an unsecure border that's really affecting the everyday lives of the average American, you know?
Angel,
Yeah,
are you being a racist?
maybe, I don't know. I'm brown, so I'm not sure.
You're not the right kind of brown.
Oh, okay.
You don't think like the good guys.
Yeah, those ideas are blanching whatever melanin you have on your system.
You're blanching.
They're blanching, yeah.
And I gotta be 100% honest, like I told you guys before, I didn't actually vote for Trump the first time around, just because I thought he was the typical politician. I had seen so many clips of him from the 90s, maybe even the 80s, where it seemed as if his policies were the complete opposite of what he was campaigning for. And of course, maybe I shouldn't be so hard-headed, but from my experience, I just lost so much faith in the politicians in general.
I mean, yeah.
They tell you one thing and then they get elected and then they do a complete 180. And I just figured Trump was telling people what they wanted to hear in order to get that vote. And to me, I just went I asked for a paper ballot and I wrote in Ron Paul.
Still a good choice.
Yeah. I think it is really important to vote and exercise that right.
Yes.
And I didn't want to just throw in my vote, but at the same time, in my head, I didn't want to go in there voting for the quote-unquote lesser of two evils. I don't know how many times I've heard that before. And I think it is really important to vote and all that. And so I went ahead and voted and I said, hey, give me my paper ballot, President Ron Paul, and I turned that baby in and then I left. But Donald Trump proved me wrong. I think he did a lot of really good stuff during his first term. So I ended up voting for him the second time around, you know? And
Thank goodness he won. Right, Ruben?
yeah.
So,
And people learn, people change. I mean, I'm 36 years old. I feel like every day I'm learning something new. My perspective is slightly changing, so maybe I should be a little bit open-minded. But again, I'm always really, really cautious just because it seems experience has shown me that people can tell you one thing, but they really don't follow through on
Oh,
it.
for sure.
So wait, this means that being leftist is much like being youthful? It's a disease that passes with time.
It's for some. I don't think it.
For some, yeah, some
I don't think
guys,
it's a general rule.
some guys just never grow out of it.
I was
Sorry.
actually having a conversation with my friend about that. I heard a quote. Somebody said that if you're not a liberal or Democrat when you're young, you don't have a heart. And if you're not a conservative or Republican when you're older, you don't have a brain.
You know,
So
I
I
heard
don't know,
that as
maybe
well.
the brains are growing as you get older for some people. Maybe not all.
Not all,
Maybe.
but yes, that is a saying, and it's not a what do you call it? They don't call it a. Oh my gosh, what's it called? They don't call it a cliche for nothing.
Oh.
what about you guys? Did you guys vote for Trump the first time?
Yeah,
You too?
I think
I did in
was
my heart.
Spain.
Huh?
I did in my heart.
So you didn't vote for him the first
No, I
time?
didn't. I don't know. I don't remember what I was doing that day.
Oh, so you didn't vote at all?
I did not vote.
And
at
you?
all.
Did you vote for Trump the first time?
I think I was in Spain still.
Huh?
I think I was in Spain still.
You're in Spain? Okay. No, I voted for Trump the first time. And like this guy, I didn't like Trump either because I was also a Ron Paul guy.
Oh yeah.
And when Ron Paul was running for president, I remember Trump called him, typical Trump guy, called Ron Paul a loser. He's never gonna win. And I actually, now that I look at how dirty politics are, I do think that Ron Paul won, and the loser was Romney. But they come up with all these rules and stuff to
He got
win at
screwed
the
over.
end. Yeah. I mean, Ron Paul would get a crowd even here in El Paso, which is supposedly a lefty city. I mean, Ron Paul filled up the. I mean, and it's not a little venue, but it's not huge either. But he filled up the McGoffin Auditorium, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was still a lot of people that couldn't get in. And then Romney, you know, he got like maybe 50 people at a Luby's or
At the Village Inn.
or Village Inn, you know what I mean? But somehow he kept on winning the primaries, you know. So anyways,
Some
So-
of it doesn't make sense, of course.
huh?
Raise
Well,
the
anyways,
bars.
let me finish. So anyway, so that's why I didn't really like Trump when he started coming down on Ron Paul. But then I started when he started running, I didn't think Trump had a chance. I thought he was just one of those loud guys, whatever. But then I started liking him when I saw him. I've told you guys this before. When he started mopping the floor with Jeb Bush.
Oh yeah,
You know what?
that was epic. Yeah.
I voted for George Bush the first time, and then the second time I just started noticing a lot of little things, like the whole Iraq thing. I always wondered how the guys were from Afghanistan. Well, I think 15 out of 19 were Saudi Arabian, but they lived in Afghanistan. But then none of them were from Iraq. But then we ended up attacking Iraq. I never made that connection, and now there's a lot of conspiracy theory, but not even without even getting into conspiracies. It's like if you do something to me, but I go attack him. I just never made the. And I'm not saying Saddam Hussein was a good guy. I'm pretty sure he's probably an asshole. You know what I mean? But I just never made the connection how we attacked a country that. And then, you know, the smoking gun, and then the weapons of mass destruction. And then I know at the Correspondents' Dinner, when presidents make fun of themselves, you know, that joke that George Bush made when he's all like, no weapons of mass destruction's here. Oh, maybe over there. I just didn't think that was funny at all, man. It's so many people died, you know, our guys that went over there. The people that died from that country, kids that were left without maybe a mom or dad or both, or so many people's lives were destroyed, and to make a joke about that, I just didn't find that funny at all,
No.
you know. So then, you know, we had the dad Bush, and then George Bush, and then that wasn't enough, man. They wanted to give us a third Bush. I just couldn't believe it. I know it's only happened in history twice, right? John Adams and George Bush, where they have a father and son. So this was going to be father, son, and another son, and I just can't believe in a country as big as the United States, there cannot be a better candidate than somebody else from that family. Man, that's a horrible family. And then so when Trump totally destroyed Jeb Bush, that just made me so happy. And then
Just because of that, he's got my vote.
well, no, that's when I started like. I
That's
mean,
when
he
you
saved
started,
us from a disaster, man. From horrible people. Those guys. I mean, I don't even think they're Republicans, man. Those are just horrible people.
Oh, those are the rhinos that we're talking about.
And then, but then when Trump started saying stuff, and it's not even just about the border. Everybody says, "Oh, he's racist. How can you like him?" You know, that's pretty dumb. Even like a lot of countries were taking advantage of the United States.
Yeah.
Like NATO, you know, when you put all of Europe together, I think their GDP is comparable to the United States, but then they were paying like, I think like 25% of the budget, and the United States was paying like 75% of it.
Yeah,
And he called him out on it. So when you say Trump is a racist, that he doesn't like Mexicans and this, because he called out Mexico. Well, you know what? He also called out Germany. He called out all these other European or white countries. You know, I mean, and I don't even like to talk about race because I'm not even about that. I'm more about what your ideology is. But anyways, just you know, he called out NATO. You know, and he got him to pay their. You know, the Democrats like to talk about paying your fair share, but you know, it's only when it's convenient to them. And Trump actually made other people pay their fair share. You know, and that's when I started liking him. You know, the economy was doing good. I mean, and this whole COVID thing is kind of what messed it up. And then
oh, for sure.
And then the elections. I'm not too confident in our election system anymore. I wish we would go back to paper ballots that could be verifiable. I just found it really hard to believe how I think this is the first time the last elections where we didn't know who our president was that same night. We always know, they're always projected. And then Trump was ahead, and all of a sudden after midnight,
In the middle of the night,
Biden came up when all these ballots showed up in the mail, but the papers were not creased. So, I mean, I don't know. So they were mail-in ballots, but anybody could see that they were not mailed.
We here at
So-
Conserving 915 do believe that the 2020 election was the most fair and free, but if anything,
Trust but verify.
Evil will find you.
What was that? So can you repeat that again?
no, I was just doing a little disclaimer. Don't worry.
Oh no, and I just
I'll say it once or twice.
I mean, you guys can read what you want to, but I don't have any confidence in our elections. You know, even when George Bush went to spread democracy in Iraq, right? When he bombed the freedom out of them,
Or
you know, those guys when they had elections, they even had to blueprint their finger, right? They were all showing so they can't vote twice. But here,
Right.
people even fight so that you don't have to vote for with an ID. They say that's racist. Demanding
How
an
is
ID to
that?
vote
How
is
is it?
racist.
So what you're telling me is people of color are so stupid that they cannot get themselves an ID?
According to the Democrats.
According to
you
the
got to say that
Democrats.
because then they say that you're saying that.
No.
These guys are snakes.
No,
you gotta be
yeah.
very clear.
I'm talking on behalf of the
Yeah.
Democrats. Because that's what they say. It's racist to ask for ID. How is that racist? Oh my. I think it should be a national holiday, Election Day. Everybody gets the day off. Everybody goes and votes with a paper. And turns it in. Gets
Or you can
ID
vote on a computer,
verified.
but get a printer, like a printout. Hey, this is what you voted for, man. And
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
there needs to be a recount. People can show up. Hey, what's going on? You know.
I think that's really the only way because the sentiment that you're expressing is that you do not have faith in the election system anymore. That's the point. That's the point. They want to beat us down so much that I don't know if we're few, I don't know if we're many, but the people that think I just can't make a difference. Right? It doesn't matter what I do. Well, that's the point right there. That you feel defeated to the point where you are convinced that your voice does not matter. Like, what we have to do is just be a voting bloc so massive that it can't be silenced or defrauded, or at least not as.
But,
and
even
if it
then,
is,
man, that's not the point. Whether you win by a vote or that shouldn't even be the case. That you have to vote by so big. The numbers have to be so big that that shouldn't even be the point. You know what I mean? I get your point, but to me that doesn't even make me feel good. It's like they just have to be fair. You shouldn't have to win by. You should be able to win. And then these guys are so morally corrupt, like when Trump beat Hillary, right? They said, oh, well, Hillary got more votes. He just won because of the Electoral College. They're like, oh, maybe the Electoral College isn't a good thing anymore. But that's how Bill Clinton won.
Mm.
So it was good when
it was for their guy.
When her crappy husband won. But when she didn't win, then all of a sudden it wasn't the Electoral College wasn't a good thing anymore.
Give me a break.
You know, these guys are like very dirty people, man.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I do agree that it has to be fair, but how do we get to that point?
Well, first of all, I think transparency is a really important part. I think when you have an election system where people have some confidence in it, there won't be like so much animosity and anger from certain people, or also like distrust for the election process itself. And even really small things, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I even remember video of the folks that were counting the ballots. For some reason, there was people that were onlookers just watching the ballot counters, even from the outside of the building, and they started covering up
Bristol
the
board.
windows.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what the point of that was. To me, I'm not even sure how much somebody would be able to see from that far of a distance, but to cover up all the glass and the windows, like, to me, it gives me a vibe of no confidence. You know?
Right. I mean, why give any room for questioning? Make it as transparent as possible.
And then for a while too, when you have people counting ballots, there's also people who are observing the ballot counters too, just to make sure that everything is going by the book. And another thing that I remember too that was going on, and I think that might have been in Georgia, but a lot of the monitors had to stay like a certain distance away from the ballot counters, which to me kind of defeats the purpose of monitoring the counters.
They just need a body there.
And it's little stuff like that that just kind of adds up. That doesn't, for me personally, I also don't have a whole lot of confidence in it. I do think it's really important to exercise your right, because free and fair elections are pretty much the bedrock of a successful republic. You know, we're a constitutional republic.
Exactly.
And without that, the whole system, I think, is going to fail. Everything starts from there. We have like representatives who should be going up to Washington to represent the best interests of their constituents, you know. But when that whole system fails, the country fails, in my opinion. I think everything starts from there. But like I said, there's a lot of really strange anomalies that happen that, for me personally, sort of chipped away a lot of confidence that I had in that.
Oh yeah, of course.
And like, it's really, really strange in Georgia too. And my memory might be a little bit hazy, but if I remember correctly, they shut down counting because they said there was a huge leak in the arena. And then it turns out there was no leak. One of the toilets was overflowing or something, and they shut down the counting. They sent a lot of people home. But then the counting resumed after a ton of people left and a few people were left behind. And it just seems the less transparency there is, the less trust people have. The more transparency, the more trust we'll have. And I think that's one of the... If we have a transparent election and people are confident, I think it'll also bring more unity, like in general, to the entire country.
Yes, not necessarily in ideals, but at least in
Trust.
In trust, unity and trust at the very least, which is really all that's necessary, because we don't have to agree 100% on everything, obviously.
Yeah, you know, when people say we need to, I mean, even families don't unite and come together. I mean, it's okay to not unite. I mean, it's always like to me, it's always like a pendulum. You know, it goes one way, it goes the other way. It goes. I mean, when people say, "Oh, we need to unite," I mean, I really don't.
Well, what I mean by
buy into
that is like, okay, neighbor, you didn't vote for the same guy that I did,
But I don't hate you for it.
and that the majority of the country voted this way. Fine, you know, and we'll see where it goes from there. I voted for my person, it counted, and I'm gonna make my peace with that. My guy didn't win, and that's fine. You know, that's what I mean by.
But yeah, okay. But I mean, if you genuinely believe the other guy won, you're like, oh, okay, well, you know.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
As long as there's trust, there's going to be at
But
least.
me,
unity in
I
that
find it
trust.
really hard to believe that Biden won. I really find that very,
I mean,
very,
there's
very
too many
hard to believe.
questions.
And you know what? Again, it's the same thing, man. You look at Trump's crowds; they were huge.
Oh yeah.
Biden's crowds were, you know, and then he just said a bunch of stupid things. He wasn't really smart. Like, he went to a truck factory, right? And he said he used to drive semis. Like, everywhere he went, he used to do that. You know what I mean? It's just, man, this guy did everything, you know. And it's just not a.
He graduated top of the class.
I mean, to me, you look at the crowds.
He was at the low 10%. You know,
The what?
He lied about so many things.
Yeah, he
I
lied,
think
and
had
even
multiple
when he was
degrees,
young, you can't blame it that he was
top
old.
10 in the class.
As a young guy, he was a liar.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of, you know, the Democrats will always play the racist card. This guy, man, the things Biden has said, they're just ridiculous. I mean, and you know what? I'll even say I don't even think he's racist. People just say things like that. But I'm just saying, if you hold him up to the same standard that he holds other people to, you know what I mean?
Or yeah,
He'd be unelectable. Because you know what? I also think we're too what do you call it, sensitive sometimes. You know, people notice things. People might make a joke that maybe is not the best thing to say, but I don't think a lot of people are really. I don't know.
That
Like,
maliciously.
yeah, people say dumb things.
Racist.
You know, like I know we always make fun of Joe Biden's wife. Well, she's a doctor, right?
Dr. Joe
She's the best doctor around.
She's the best. Yeah,
I will trust her with my
Dr.
life.
Joe Biden, when she came over here to Texas and say, and she said Hispanics were like breakfast
As,
tacos, right? That there's a bunch of
they're as
different ones.
diverse as the breakfast
Yeah.
tacos.
And you know what? And that's fine. That's funny. That's not even racist. But if Donald Trump would have said that, he would have been
It would have been used for a whole week.
he would have been the most racist president. And,
Oh, yeah.
and do I think that was a racist comment? No, of course not. It was a funny comment, but I'm just saying, if you would hold them to the standard that they hold their opponents to, that they would they would have
It'd be
they would have
non-existent.
been all over the news. They would be smeared, And it's just and that's my thing, man. These guys are dirty. They're like the bad guys in a wrestling match, the ones that cheat and
Oh.
stuff like that. Like those of you that watch Mexican wrestling, you know what I'm talking about, right? Just los rudos.
Los rudos.
Yeah,
Well.
that's who it is.
So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. We are here just to talk maybe a different point of view that you've been hearing online or on the news, because most of it is crap. Most of it is manufactured and approved by the state. Information that's just bad, or at the very least, perspectives that are not bad or that are bad. Even if the information is correct, like they'll be like, yeah, but those stupid Republicans, or something like that. Or
There's a
all
lot
those-
more conservative Latinos than people think. I think also. Yeah.
That's all we're here to say, and we're gonna shed some light on some stuff here on the border as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll be out and about talking to people, trying to get opinions. Maybe we'll even speak some Espanol here and there.
Espanol?
Espanol, yeah.
Oh,
We
wow.
can do that. We can do that, right? Are we allowed?
Carne asada.
Yes. Let's have some tripitas, man.
Excuse me.
But yeah, stay tuned. I hope you like the show. Share the show with your friends. Give it a like. Subscribe to the channel. Where are we as well?
Well, catch us also on X, formerly known as Twitter.
I call it Twix.
Twix. Yummy.
Really?
Oh, that's probably somebody gets sued for that.
We're calling it Twix?
Maybe.
Whatever you want.
Also, let us know what you think.
Oh yeah, of course. Comment. Tell us how wrong we are.
That'd be
Angel
nice.
will reply to everything.
I'll try. We'll see what happens.
He'll soon go insane.
I also have a job on the side.
Oh yeah.
But I usually read the comments and stuff like that, so I'm always interested in hearing what other people have to say, not only about what they think about what we had to say, but anything else that
Oh, yeah, of
might be
course.
going on.
I really don't care what you have to say. I couldn't care about comments. I don't really care.
But what if it's positive, constructive criticism?
I
It's
don't
good for
really-
your growth.
I
Ruben.
don't really care.
Eat your spinach. And this guy over here, our party animal,
Party animal.
he's gonna be handling the Facebook page.
So there will be any updates.
There will not be any updates. And,
It's kind of late. I think he's just tired right now.
well,
I think he's just a little tired.
he partied a little too hard last night.
Yeah, right. Grading papers.
Grading papers, yeah, exactly.
No, actually, don't even. You can delete that right now.
Oh, okay.
Eventually, you would. Just
All right.
Take that out.
We used to have an OnlyFans page, but that didn't pan out. Apparently, not a lot of people liked what we.
Well, it's because we had another good friend that was joining us, and we were kind of leeching off his popularity. We were leeching off of. None of us were on that page, but we were leeching off of his looks, right? And he got tired of us.
Well, we were
leeching
kind
off
of.
of his good looks, and he just ditched us.
His wonderful demeanor.
Huh?
His wonderful
Yeah,
demeanor.
yeah. He's just
Well groomed.
he said, "I'm tired of you guys leeching off of me," and he left.
He's off to greater things. Anyway, check us out.
What was his name? Bello what?
Bello Bellaco.
Yeah, he's gone.
You will be missed. But yeah, check us out and tune in for more. Stay safe and God bless.